Hey folks, we're here to talk about a very disgusting degenerate, aka dirtbag today. His name is Joshua Ayers. He's 38 years old. He likes to have sex with children. We've arrested him for having sex with a 13-year-old and a 14-year-old girl. Numerous counts, at least 20 at this point. We executed a search warrant at his house early this morning, late last night actually, early this morning, and he actually knew what was coming. He's admitted to having sex with both girls, and this is also a classic case of grooming. I cannot stress enough to parents to be very careful who you let your children hang out with. You may think somebody is a good person. This guy has a 2-year history, approximately 2 years with the Department of Corrections as a detention officer for the state. So you would think that your child would be safe with this individual, but that's not the case. He is married. I cannot discuss the relationship of the children. The children, I can say, are friends, and that's about as much as I can say about the children. We are looking for the public's help. If they have seen any children go into this house, they think it's suspicious, or they didn't think about it before, they need to think about it now. We would like to know if you've seen any children going to this house. His wife works 12-hour shifts on night shift. We do believe she didn't know anything about this going on, but as you can discern, she's not around much when this would be taking place. Some of it I can't discuss, but I can tell you that when he picked up this girl out of county, the intent was to take the 2 children to Legoland. And then he decided it'd be a better idea to watch some Netflix or whatever he decided to watch, and then he engaged in sexual activity. There's a lot of sex toys that we recovered that I can't discuss. We'll actually discuss each and every one of you if I told you what they were. I stand here for questions, but once again, we have to be careful what we say on this case. The important thing is grooming is a reality today. Parents, be careful. Instagram is part of this. Instagram goes away a lot, and it takes law enforcement a little bit of time to recover those, but we have recovered enough to prove our case. More than enough, and there's a lot more forensics to do, so we do anticipate some additional charges. Questions?
What about this case is a classic case of grooming? If you could just talk about that a little bit.
Well, grooming is something we've heard about for years now, and when somebody starts talking to a younger person and they try to gain their confidence and ultimately do gain their confidence and end up in the same house together, bad things can happen. And especially when somebody portrays themselves as having a solid life, being married, perhaps other kids around, and there you go. That's a grooming case right there.
Chief, did you guys get the photo that you took of one of the victims that I guess was sent through Instagram?
We know there were some images sent. We don't have those images currently, but we have enough conversation between he and specifically one of the girls that it wouldn't take a rocket scientist to figure out what was going on.
We want to be careful about the victims here, but
Right.
he is facing a custodial sexual battery charge. What
That's
is
correct.
that?
He's actually in custody of the children at the time. So he is, whatever you want to call it, the custodian, the guardian, the caregiver, but he is the adult in the house at the time. So that is an enhanced charge.
It's not like he's the legal guardian, it's just
That's correct.
at that moment.
That's
He's
correct.
a person of trust
That is correct.
for them. Okay.
Chief, how good does it feel to get somebody like this off your streets?
Oh, this is a great feeling because we now know that he will never have the opportunity to hurt somebody else. He's going to spend a lot of time in prison. Again, the evidence is overwhelming in this case. The detectives did an outstanding job. They were notified of this case yesterday, and here we are with an arrest already.
if we could say on camera, the 13-year-old, which one was which?
Correct me here, Lloyd, but it's the 13-year-old that traveled.
No.
It's the 14-year-old that traveled. He went and picked up the 14-year-old, and the 13-year-old is someone he's known for quite a while.
It was the 14-year-old, she was gonna be taken to the doctor and then confided in her mother, and that's how you guys found out
That's
about it?
correct.
And you guys have reason to believe, obviously, that maybe this wasn't the first time, that's why you're asking about the public's help for other children being seen?
That's correct. We don't believe this is his first time. He's been married for over 10 years. And again, his wife is the winner in this family, and she works night shift. There's some other things here, but there's no question in our mind that this isn't his first rodeo, as they say.
What was he doing for work now?
Oh, good
Yeah.
question. He makes animated porn
In his house.
at his house.
I thought that was a hobby, you know.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
Okay.
We're figuring out where that porn goes to, but we will figure that out during the forensics.
Was it child porn?
That we do not know yet.
Has he said anything? Did he say anything during the interview?
He actually admitted to most of the sexual contact. He did make a lot of admissions.
Did he say he had a problem with that?
He did not say he had a problem. He wouldn't admit to looking at child porn, but we will find that out for sure if he has been looking at child porn through the search warrants.
We were talking earlier, a lot of times things like this get swept under the rug. You know, it's not a stranger danger, you know, random incident. What do you
Right.
want people to know about this happening in their neighbors' homes?
Well, I want people to understand this happens a lot more than they think, and it happens a lot more than we're notified. So we don't talk about this all the time, but I guarantee you it's going on. So in this case, she wouldn't have told her mom unless she was going to the doctor. This may not have come out at all. So how long has this dirtbag been abusing children? Your guess is as good as mine at this point, but we're gonna get to the bottom of that through forensics. Good?
Can you hold the picture back up?
I sure can.
Is he facing life in prison, right?
Excuse me?
Is he facing life in prison?
What would he be facing? There's a lot of counts here. He can definitely be facing life in prison. You guys got it? And you can have it here too, obviously.